There are a lot of fools on the internet giving out immigration advice. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. You know, there are hundreds of thousands of people going through the immigration process every year. And can you imagine doing that before the internet? Before the internet, all the information as it related to immigration and how things worked was held in the head of immigration lawyers. So you really had no choice. I guess you could go to the library and look up in books and try to figure out what the statutes say, what the regulations say, but really there was no substitute back then besides going to see an immigration lawyer, paying them for their time, and most likely hiring them, because all of the information was held secretly by the immigration lawyers. It was very inaccessible to regular people going through the immigration process. And this is especially true for immigrants for whom English might not be their primary language. So back before the internet, all the information was held by just a few select people. Now, this was a great opportunity for immigration lawyers to make a lot of money because they had all the information and there was a real imbalance of power between the lawyers and the clients. Does that make sense? Think of it this way. You know, in the old days, if you wanted to, say, fly to Johannesburg, South Africa, or to Sydney, Australia, you'd have to call up a travel agent, and the travel agent would get in their system and figure out how much the plane tickets cost. And of course, that was always padded for making sure the travel agent got paid. And travel agents had all the information about the flights, and it was very hard to do that on your own. So just like you had to rely on the travel agent in the old days, you also had to rely on the immigration lawyer in the old days. Now, with the internet and all the available channels for free information that are out there, we've seen an explosion in the number of people sharing immigration information around the country and on the internet, and that is a good thing. I think overall, if I had to say, should the information be held by just a few people or should the information be held by everybody, obviously the democratization of information is almost always a good thing. But like so many rules in life, there's the rule and then there's the exception. There are a lot of fools giving out free advice on the internet, and that's why I wanted to shoot this video today. Now, it might seem sort of meta for someone giving out immigration information on the internet to say, hey, look at all those other fools. And I get that. There's sort of an irony there about me saying that there's too much free information out there. And I'm not saying that there's too much free information. I'm saying that there's too much wrong information. There are too many people who hold themselves out as experts and try to give out their immigration advice for free or even charge it. I've seen people set up YouTube channels based on their one experience going through the immigration and visa process. There are TikTokers and YouTubers who have channels set up to explain how the immigration process works based on the fact that they went through it once. That seems really silly to me. And I wanted to create our YouTube channel and to give out as much free accurate information as I could. That's really the genesis of why I do this. This is why I make these videos. This is why I do my Immigration Answers live show a couple times a week. This is why I really make sure to try to give the best information possible. And you know what? Sometimes I'm wrong too. And I try to correct it. I try to take down things that are wrong. I make sure that the information that I'm giving you is the best information that I can come up with. But other people don't have that accountability. Other people don't have a channel like mine. Other people don't have a law license, so they can say whatever the hell they want. Right? And there's no consequence. So you really, really, really need to be careful about who you're getting your immigration information from. I think that we give out accurate information. I do my best to teach you complex concepts, to make them simple, to show what the process is like, and try to even the playing field between you and USCIS or you and the State Department. Because, of course, it wasn't just the immigration lawyers who had all the information. It was USCIS who had all the information. And they would use that to really punish people going through the immigration process. So everything that I do, information-wise, is to help empower you and to empower immigrants to fight this battle either on your own or with us. I'm happy to give out the information, and I'm happy that you use it to the best that you can. Do I think that in a lot of cases you need to call us and use an attorney? For damn sure you do. But even if you don't, I'm happy that you use this information, that you come back for more information, that you realize that this information is valuable and that you share it out with other people. That's why we're doing this. That's why I have Justin here who does full-time video stuff. That's why I have other people in our marketing team explaining different concepts by email, or all the different ways that we're getting ready to start a new newsletter. So we're always about sharing the information and then letting you decide, because for me, An educated client is my best friend. Having a client who understands the process, who sees the value in what we're doing, and who is going to sit right next to me as we navigate this process together, that's the best kind of client that I can have. I don't want there to be an imbalance of information. I want my clients to be right there next to me, to understand how hard this is, and to go through this process together. So I hope that in listening to this video and watching this video that you've come to learn that you really need to be a discerning eye. You really need to be a critical consumer of content and make sure, where is this person coming from? What's the angle that they're using? What experience do they have? How much education do they have? Immigration lawyers spend 4 years in college, 3 years in law school, and then hopefully spend a lot of time working on immigration cases like yours to try to give you the best information, the best advice, and the best decision making that you can do. That's why we do this. So if you do see the value in working with us, or if you have questions about hiring us and want to talk to one of our team members about the possibility of working with Hacking Immigration Law, we would love it if you gave us a call, 314-961-8200. You can email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. I mentioned our Immigration Answers show. You can always catch reruns of that on our YouTube channel, or you can join us 3 or 4 times live a week where I'm doing the show for 60 minutes and answering as many immigration-related questions as I can. The other place we share a lot of our information is in our Facebook group. That's called Immigrant Home. We'd love it if you joined in there. And I'll tell you, sometimes people give out bad advice inside Immigrant Home, and I get really upset. And I ask them, hey, what do you know? You're not doing this right. Talk to the experts. And I don't mean to sound like a jerk or conceited. I just want to make sure that there's not bad information being shared on a forum that I help maintain and manage. Hope this all makes sense. We'd love to hear from you, 314-961-8200. Hope this helps, and I hope you have a great week.